When you hear the name Ellen DeGeneres, what do you think of? I personally think of top 5 fakest individuals ever. Not only in show business, because I get it, it's Hollywood, it's TV, everyone's fake to some degree. I completely understand that. I am now 2 years old, believe it or not. And I know that everyone says, yeah, well, I thought Ellen was a nice person before everything about her came out, her getting exposed, and just the way she treated her guests in a very, very not very nice way, if you will. I've said this before, I was never a fan of Ellen. I always thought she looked evil, mean, and when you look at that, everything that I said came true. I'm never wrong. No, never. I've never made a mistake once in my life. Perfect streak. Now that I think about it, Ellen at her peak was just Mr. Beast. No, not on any evil shit, but just on the way they would give away stuff, give to charities, help out. Looking back, yeah, Ellen was pretty much Mr. Beast for millennials. Always giving prizes and gifts. Despite the fact that I don't like Ellen, I would have loved to go to one of her shows just to get a free car or a free iPhone. But why are we talking about Ellen in the Big 25, guys? Well, an amigo of the channel who goes by Internet Anarchist, I'm sure you guys have heard of him before. He puts out pretty good videos. I like them. He made a video a few days ago called The Deserved Downfall of Ellen DeGeneres. Now, last thing I've heard about Ellen, she was doing a stand-up special for Netflix, I believe, and it really didn't go over that well. That, along with her, getting kicked from her own show and the drama, and then people speaking up about their experiences working there. As a day one Ellen hater, I think it's time we celebrate, we pop that champagne. But before we do that, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Drop a like if you end up enjoying this video, and let's just get right into it. I am here for the downfall of Ellen. Well, the downfall has started. At this point, I'm just, beating a dead horse.
Ellen DeGeneres' career is the perfect example of the saying, what goes around comes around. Even though her on-screen acts of generosity and slogan of be kind created a multi-award winning talk show, Ellen's deplorable behavior behind the scenes garnered a reputation so damaging that it would eventually undermine everything she built.
Let me see what else I can tell you about that's been going on. Oh yeah, I got kicked out of show business. Yeah.
Hi.
When I ask people who are around my age, they're in their 20s, early, mid-20s, maybe even a bit younger, right? No one likes Ellen. I think a big portion of her audience were definitely millennials and boomers, but I believe that was her core audience, and of course little kids. But yeah, because I remember when I was like, 16, 17, maybe a bit younger, like no one around my age liked Ellen, nor did we really talk about Ellen. Unless it was like the mom speaking or whatever. But I don't remember anyone being 16, 17, 18 talking about Ellen. Like, no, that was definitely for an older audience. And I don't know, like I always got a weird vibe from her. And I don't know if it was the haircut or just the fact that I personally never found her that funny. Like, yeah, she's funny from time to time, but it doesn't mean you're a comedian. And I always say this. People could pretend to be the nicest individual online, but sooner or later that mask will slowly slip and you will start to see the real person. That is why I'm a believer 1000% of just being you, being real to yourself, because that will last forever. And I'm not trying to turn this into a 3 a.m. David Gronkins, fucking motivational speech and Sigma speech or whatever, but literally just be yourself.
That's me on the front of this Cheerios box right there, and here's the big part. If you have a box of Cheerios under your seat, I'm going to give you a special surprise gift. So check and see if you have a box of Cheerios under your seat. All right, so all of you isn't that interesting that what a coincidence all of you would get a box of Cheerios. You're all going to share this gift. It's the biggest gift I've ever given anybody, ever. And I hope you continue to pay it forward and share all the good. Hold on to your Cheerios, because all of you are splitting $1 million.
The more that I see of this video, the more I'm like, Ellen is just Mr. Beast for boomers and millennials, giving away insane amounts of money and, doing all of this Mr. Beast-ish stuff. And no hate to Mr. Beast, I like him, right? I think Beast Games was pretty solid. I don't care if people make fun of me for that or call me a 12-year-old. Drinking my prime, eating my lunchly, watching the Hawk Tua podcast. Holy shit, this is from last year. I gotta keep up with the memes. But Beast Games was fun. And how did I get here? Holy shit. Yeah, I think I'm going insane. I cannot unsee the Mr. Beast similarities anymore. And this is something that Ellen did all of the time back in the day. Just giving away prizes. And if you went viral online, especially back in the day. Does anyone remember Damn Daniel? They had him on the show. I mean, Ellen was on cable. But she was also one of the first cable personalities to put her content on YouTube. I mean, her channel has millions of subscribers, and if you go to her Instagram, she has over 136 million followers on Instagram, and she has over 40 million on Facebook and millions on Twitter. It's like, it worked. She was smart, and, I might not like her, and, she did a lot of bad things, and I think she's not funny. I think she's extremely overrated. But she was one of the first cable personalities to jump on, the social media train before a lot of other TV hosts. So, in a way, that's low-key gotta be respected. I still don't like Ellen, and I'd rather do a billion different things than to ever watch one full episode. But I have to give credit where credit is due.
However, that success wouldn't last forever, as the public perception of the show and its host were gradually flipped on its head, as viewers got a closer look behind Ellen's mask of positivity. Throughout Ellen's time as a talk show host, there has always been a subtle but consistent undercurrent of resentment from people who either knew her personally or worked with her professionally. The first major signs of this would come during the 2007 Writers Guild of America strike. At the time, Ellen refused to side with her writers by crossing the picket line to continue working on the show. While some saw Ellen's decision as a necessary evil to maintain the jobs of the non-writing staff, others saw this choice as a selfish ploy to keep her ratings up. Around this time, one of Ellen's former writers would make a blog post discussing who she really was when the cameras weren't rolling. We'd watch her in rehearsals, smiling and winning us over with her charm and comic timing. Then the director would yell cut, her face would fall, and she'd level a glare at the writers. Why do you keep writing these unfunny jokes? I'm disappointed in Ellen, but not surprised, given what I've seen from her with my own two eyes. While these claims wouldn't have much impact on Ellen's public image, this entire incident sowed the seeds of doubt in viewers' minds, and opened the door to skepticism to her trademark acts of kindness. At the end of the day, if Ellen
I mean, I know that when stuff like this, you gotta treat it carefully, and, we all know how this ended, right? But I'm sure at the time, especially, you don't expect someone like Ellen to be this low-key almost demonic. Okay, I'm reaching now. But, such an evil individual. It's like you don't expect Mr. Beast to be a shitty person, right? And like I said a few minutes ago, the comparisons and the similarities between Ellen and Mr. Beast, they just become, more and more blurred. I mean, don't get it twisted. I do think Mr. Beast is a billion times better than Ellen. And at this point, this video isn't about Ellen. It's just me writing Mr. Beast. I swear to God, Jimmy, I swear I'm not being paid by Jimmy, unfortunately. I wish I was on his payroll.
Willing to show some compassion to the people she worked with, then was she worthy of being deemed as a kind person? By the late 2010s, suspicion around her kind persona had festered to the point that people were making compilations of and writing articles about the worst things Ellen has ever done. From insensitive jokes about guests' personal lives.
We'll show pictures.
I don't know if I'm gonna do this.
Yeah, you will.
This is the one thing that I have. It's like the one shred of dignity that I have.
Ring it on 3 different guys. We'll narrow it down. So ring it 3 different times. So then it's still out there. We still don't know. So let's show some pictures. Ring it at some point. Okay. All right.
I don't know what a...
You're supposed to ring.
But I don't want to. I don't want to.
All right, I'll ring.
Because they'll send me angry emails
Here.
and I don't want to get them.
I'll hold it for you.
What are you doing? Stop it!
Okay. All right.
This makes me feel so bad about myself. Every time I come up here, you put like a different dude up there on the screen.
To botched acts of charity.
Did you know your mom wrote that letter? I knew she entered me for a contest, but I didn't know.
Yeah, that was really sweet of her.
Yes.
Okay, so you started college this year.
Yeah.
Okay, and what are you studying?
I'm at Tufts right now, and I'm doing kind of my general eds, but I'm like pre-dental.
Yeah. Wow, that's a lot of college.
It's a lot.
Yeah, how much is tuition?
It's like more than $50,000 right now. I get a little bit of financial aid, but
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Well, it's a lot.
Yeah.
And your story is very sweet. And so I talked to my friends at Shutterfly. They want to help pay for...
One second.
I'm sorry. What does that mean? I just... Okay. So, this is awkward, but we're going to give you a computer.
I mean,
We have the computer.
I have a computer, but
Okay, but it's It's a nice, then the nice computer.
Users noted every single time Ellen let the mask slip and exposed her true intentions.
That is so embarrassing. I've never seen that clip before. This is such a good video because I consider myself to be I was gonna say pretty tapped in individual and stuff that goes down. I had never in a billion years seen that footage of Ellen be like, oh, we're gonna pay your tuition. You're gonna get a laptop. And it's not even a MacBook. You're getting a fucking shittiest laptop that's like $50. No, that's brutal. You know, this is one of those rare times where I feel bad for Ellen and the girl who's like, of course I feel worse for the girl. I want to make that clear. But Ellen looks so confused and just like, what are we doing here? I mean, if I was that rich, if I was Ellen rich, I would have just been like, well, I'll just pay for your tuition. It's like $50K per year. I'll give you 100. That should cover the next 2 years, right? I mean, that would have made her look so much better. That would have been great for ratings. And you would have looked good, and 100K is nothing to people like Ellen. Like, if I care about what people say about me online, like, of course she does, because her whole thing is be nice, be positive, put good energy out there. If that was my whole brand, then I would just be like, okay, so we're gonna give you a laptop, and on top of that, I will personally pay for your tuition. That would have been such a great move. I don't know why she didn't do that. It's just really awkward, but I don't know. That was an L. That could have fixed so many things. And in the alternative universe, Ellen is like, you know what? I'll pay your tuition. Legit felt secondhand embarrassing watching that. Holy balls, that was tough to watch.
Then the nice computer.
Users noted every single time Ellen let the mask slip and exposed her true intentions. A particularly egregious example of this was the infamous gift shop incident. During one of her episodes, Ellen tried to test the trustworthiness of her audience with a gift shop where people could only take one item.
When I started the show 14 years ago, I said this is going to be like a relationship. And the most important thing, the foundation of a good relationship is, say it with me, separate thermostats. Oh, and then after that, trust, right? Trust is very important. So before the show, I put out some Ellen products with a sign that said only one per person. And I just wanted to see how honest my audience was, you know? Because it turns out you're very honest. Very, very honest. We set up really amazing.
However, when one individual decided to break that rule, Ellen decided to make an example out of her.
I'm ready.
I think the large is
Okay. I'm gonna go. You can go?
I mean, come on now. Are you really going to steal from the Ellen merch booth? Like, out of everything one can steal, you're gonna get embarrassed by stealing a fucking Ellen keychain or a mug? Like, I get it, right? It's a challenge. Well, not a challenge, but it's to get a viral clip. I get it. It's for the ha-has. And at first, because I've seen this clip before, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have, at first when I saw it, I was like, well, it's not too bad, right? But it progressively gets worse to the point where it does get pretty uncomfortable to watch. Like, yeah, you know, call her out for a bit and make it a bit, a 2-minute viral clip, if you will, and then move on, right? But no, Ellen just legitimately flames this woman for stealing a mug, and I get it, she took more than one, and that's why I was okay with, you know, a minute or two of roasting, but it does get a little out of control to the point where it becomes beyond uncomfortable to watch. But, you know, I'll stop the yapping, and I'll just play it for you guys.
Then she goes back and she returns one of her stolen items.
As punishment, Ellen would single her out of the crowd.
I really, I'm sorry. That's embarrassing and everything, but, you know, let that be a lesson to you, because you think it is. You think nobody's watching you, and you just need to be a good person just because you want to be a good person.
So far, so good, right? A little funny segment. You know, she's laughing, learning her lesson. Ellen got a viral clip out of this. Everyone's winning here. But Ellen decided to keep pushing for it, and I'll just let it play. It's better if I just show you guys.
You think nobody's watching you, and you just need to be a good person just because you want to be a good person. You go sit in that Ellen jail over there right now. No, you'll steal stuff back there. Come here, this way. What's your sister's name?
Anna.
All right.
While you could chuck these up to being isolated incidents, it became difficult to ignore Ellen's possible mean streak with the release of an article from the New York Times titled, "Ellen DeGeneres is not as nice as you think." The post discussed Ellen's return to stand-up comedy, her struggle between being nice on camera and being a person with a broader spectrum of emotions, and her thoughts about people who didn't think she was a kind person. Reading, "That bugs me if someone is saying that, because it's an outright lie. The first day I said, the one thing I want is everyone here to be happy and proud of where they work. And if not, don't work here. No one is going to raise their voice or not be grateful. That's the rule to this day. This statement suggested that Ellen's workplace had always been a place that fostered positivity and happiness. Unfortunately, the reality of working with Ellen was about to be revealed as anything but a happy experience.
Yeah, I don't like it when people say I'm not nice, because I am nice. I am the nicest person ever. I don't know why people are tripping. I'm nice. I'm inclusive, I'm positive, I'm funny, I'm relatable. I give so much money out there. It's like whenever people say they're like the funniest person they know, I know they're the least funny people ever.
On the 17th of July 2020, BuzzFeed released an article detailing the toxic work experiences of one current and 10 former employees of the Ellen DeGeneres show, reading, "That be kind bullshit only happens when the cameras are on. It's all for the show," one former employee told the BuzzFeed News. "I know they give money to people and help them out, but it's for show." The former employees would also highlight instances of upper management making racist comments, playing favorites, and suppressing complaints of workplace toxicity, reading, "I never felt like it was safe to go to my manager when I had issues, because this was the same person who would wait for me to go to the bathroom and then message me asking me where I was and why I wasn't at my desk." Even though Ellen might not be directly responsible for the toxic working conditions surrounding her show, people saw her as the face of talk show positivity and wanted to hold her accountable, especially when it's being relayed to the public as a long-running issue.
Hedda Muscat was with Ellen from the beginning in 2003 when the talk show was launched.
We were told from the very beginning, don't talk to Ellen, don't do this, you can't, go into her office. It was very nerve-wracking, very stressful. We all walked on eggshells all the time.
Muscat says despite Ellen's Queen of Nice reputation, it became clear early on that it would not be a pleasant place to work. One incident with executive producer Ed Glavin left her shaken.
We were in our production meetings and she would watch Ed go off on people. Ellen would look at Ed and she would laugh, because I was hoping she was going to say, "Ed, you can't be yelling at crew this way. You can't be yelling at people this way." She laughed and she said, "Every production needs their dog."
Meaning
Ed is her dog.
Like her attack dog.
Her attack dog, so therefore she doesn't need to do that.
The claims made by staff only become more compelling when you factor in the viral Twitter thread from Calvin Portner, which mentioned several unpleasant interactions with fans Ellen had over the years, reading, "When I was 15, Ellen was doing a contest of fans making a bust of her and sending it to her. I worked so hard on this and even wrote her a letter. Weeks later, she used it as a prop in a game and gave it away to a random person with $500 attached to the bottom." In response to mounting public outrage, Warner Media investigated and fired the 3 offending executives. Not long after, Ellen sent a memo to her employees addressing the controversy and trying to salvage the situation, reading, "On day 1 of our show, I told everyone in our first meeting that the Ellen DeGeneres show would be a place of happiness. No one would ever raise their voice and everyone would be treated with respect. Obviously something changed, and I'm disappointed to learn that this has not been the case, and for that, I am sorry. Anyone who knows me knows it's the opposite of what I believe and what I hoped for our show. As we've grown exponentially, I've not been able to stay on top of everything and relied on others to do their jobs as they knew I'd want them done. Clearly, some didn't. That will now change, and I'm committed to ensuring this does not happen again." Staff wouldn't be the only people Ellen apologized to, as she addressed her audience in a similarly sympathetic fashion.
"I'm just so sorry that it's come to this. I really don't know what to say other than this has gone on way, 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 way too long. People have gotten away with murder, and that's what's happening. So we've got to see fairness and we've got to see justice for all, because right now this is not a fair world, not at all."
Most viewers thought Ellen's vague apology.
Did she say murder? Or am I tripping? I mean, that was related to the drama with her, right? It wasn't related to anything that was going around during, I guess, 2020 and 2021. I'm a bit confused. Or I don't know if this was her combining the stuff with her and with other stuff that was going on at the time. It's hard for me to feel bad for Ellen. And those crocodile tears, I'm sorry, they weren't moving me at all. I feel nothing. Now, that could be 2 things. Either A, her apology was not sincere enough, or B, I am dead inside. And I'm leaning more towards B. All right, I'm gonna keep it real. But I'm sure A also plays a factor in that. the whole BS with her being kind and, you know, you guys will love to work here and only positivity and all of that. I'm sure that was the goal since day one. And I get that she cannot be on top of everything. But, I mean, how many examples do we have of Ellen just being a shitty host, either towards guests or celebrities? You guys remember the time where she made Mariah Carey drink to prove she wasn't pregnant?
Let's toast to you not being pregnant. If you're not pregnant, then we should.
Oh my goodness. I can't believe her.
Do I feel bad for Ellen DeGeneres? The fact that she's down bad and her show's canceled? No. I do not. We do not care. Ellen, we do not care.
Opposite on the day she visited.
How does the Ellen we see on TV compare to the Ellen you saw when the cameras stopped rolling?
Totally different. She would only speak to the audience when the cameras were rolling. As soon as they turned the cameras off, she would not even acknowledge the audience. She would just sit on the couch, basically.
This abrasive pattern of behavior would be on full display in Ellen's final comedy special in 2024, dubbed For Your Approval.
Here's the problem. I'm a comedian who got a talk show, and I ended the show every day by saying, be kind to one another. Had I ended my show by saying, go fuck yourselves, people would have been pleasantly surprised to find out I'm kind. I didn't go into this business for money. It was about healing my childhood wounds. I thought, if I could make people happy, then they'll like me. And if they like me, I'll feel good about myself. And all I can say about that is thank God for the money.
From glossing over the toxic workplace experience she created, to making snide comments about the complaints from former fans and co-workers, Ellen did everything in her power to be as insufferable as possible, and viewers weren't going to let her get away with it. The comedy special would review extremely poorly, and create another wave of hate towards Ellen. At this point, it didn't seem like Ellen cared about people knowing the truth about her.
Quick question. Does anyone like Ellen in 2025? I never liked Ellen. I never thought she was funny. I thought she was always extremely overrated, and I think Conan O'Brien was always the superior, better than Kimmel, better than Fallon, better than Ellen. Conan is the GOAT when it comes to, you know, TV hosting. He was so underrated. I know that I'm going on a side rant, but Conan was the true GOAT. All right, much better than Jimmy Kimmel and Jimmy Fallon. Like, these guys are, you know, they're fine, but they're not Conan funny. And in a perfect world, Conan O'Brien gets the fame of Ellen and the attention that he deserves, and, you know, just everything that comes with that. I think Ellen is not even mid. I think she's bad. But that is why I'm asking you guys, does anyone nowadays or a few years ago, did anyone like Ellen? That's my question to you guys. Let me know in the comments below. And the full video will be down below in case you guys want to watch it. Thank you so much for watching. Before you go, don't forget to drop a like, subscribe to the channel. And with that said, I'll see you next time.